Yo, sports bettors, it's going to be a crazy day. We have the NBA, NHL playoffs, and on top of that, I think we have 19 MLB games. So a lot of sports going on. There's going to be a lot of value in the market, and I have two early parlays for today. So I'm going to take you through both my parlays here in a sec. Let's make some money.
Yo, so my first parlay has 6 picks, and it's on this platform called ParlayPlay. Okay, so this platform, I usually don't have it available to me, but I'm currently traveling. I'm in California, so I've been, dabbling with it. And you can see right here, we've been crushing this platform. I gave out a parlay this weekend, $60 into 1,500. This bad boy, actually, we had two. So then we also had one with Carl Anthony Towns, so 60 to 1,500. So we've been crushing them on parlays. And anyways, let's just go ahead. Let's get into my first pick. So the tool I started out on is called the OddsJam Odds Screen. So basically, you just go here, and then you go to Odds Screen. And all this tool does is it's going to show you the entire market, right? So for NHL player shot on goals, it's going to show us, hey, Prize Picks and Underdog Fantasy, as well as all the sports books, they have William Nylander's line at 3.5, right? ParlayPlay's at 3. So long story short, ParlayPlay, they're too low compared to the rest of the market, right? This platform works very similar to Prize Picks as well as Underdog Fantasy, and their line is too low, right? We can get Nylander over 3 shots on goal. We want to take the over because their line is too low. All the books are telling us, hey, Nylander's line should be at 3.5. Prize Picks Underdog, direct competitors to ParlayPlay, have his line at 3.5, and ParlayPlay's at 3. So we found a discrepancy in the market. So typically when I'm using this tool, I'm looking for where do Prize Picks, Underdog, ParlayPlay, like where they're discrepancies in the market. So you look at Victor Hedman, Prize Picks, ParlayPlay, Underdog, all these fantasy sports platforms like Underdog Fantasy, they all have his line at 2. So there's no value in the market, right? Whereas for Nylander, there's a clear discrepancy. ParlayPlay is below the market. All the books, Underdog, Prize Picks have his line at 3.5. So we want to take the over. And the benefit is if Nylander has exactly 3 shots on goal, we're going to push, right? If you take Nylander's over on Prize Picks, right, and he has 3 shots on goal, you're going to lose. You took over 3.5 and he had 3. You're going to lose if you take his over on Prize Picks or Underdog. Whereas on ParlayPlay, if you take his over 3 and he has exactly 3 shots on goal, you're going to push. You're going to tie. So long story short, this is how sharp sports bettors think. Like I didn't wake up and decide to bet on William Nylander. I woke up and I was like, hey, out of all the plays in the market, this is clearly a good one because all the books have his line at 3.5. ParlayPlay's at 3. We found a discrepancy in the market. We found value. We found an edge, right? And these differences between 3 and 3.5 are what sharp bettors are looking for. No sharp bettor is going to win every single bet. It's all about finding these plays with value. You're like a hunter, right? You're like a savvy investor, a day trader. You're hunting through the market, looking for discrepancies, looking for value. And this is the first play I found. So anyways, that's the first play I went with. But what I did want to say is ParlayPlay is a very interesting platform, right? The odds screen we were just looking at where Nylander was at 3, all the books were at 3.5. That's not the main tool I use to find value. But what you're going to notice is, right, again, ParlayPlay, they're not varying your payouts based on you selecting over or under. Just like Prize Picks, they're a fixed payout platform. The only difference is ParlayPlay has slightly better payouts than Prize Picks, which is why I've been, using ParlayPlay more. Is if you go 5 for 6 in a 6-pick entry on Prize Picks, you only get a 2x payout. On ParlayPlay, you get a 2.5x payout. So again, these differences really matter long term. If you're trying to make money sports betting and you go 5 for 6 and you could have played your plays on either Prize Picks or ParlayPlay, on ParlayPlay you're getting paid out more, right? The payouts are higher, so you're going to make more money long term, and these differences really matter, when you're a sharp sports bettor. But long story short, what's really interesting about ParlayPlay is they're not varying your payouts again based on you selecting over or under. So the strategy for beating them is you want to find spots where sportsbooks have one side, either the over or the under, really heavily favored. So the tool I'm going to look at now is called the positive expected value tool, and what you're going to see is the top play on ParlayPlay is Pierre Dubois over 2.5 shots on goal in Jets Golden Knights. So on ParlayPlay, again, it doesn't matter if we take over or under, we're always getting the same payout. So because all the sports books have his over heavily favored, we want to take his over, right? This is just rational, data-driven sports betting. Pinnacle, the sharpest sports book in the world, PointsBet, Fliff, every sports book, every real-time price data point, every book setting lines is saying, hey, Pierre's over should be heavily favored. So you want to take his over in your ParlayPlay entry. It's really that simple, right? So this is the first play I went with, and you can also see it here on the OddsJam fantasy screen. So this tool, it's been free for over a month now, or maybe, exactly a month now. But all this tool does is it shows you, hey, we know, for any of these fantasy sites, just like Prize Picks that aren't changing your payouts based on you selecting over or under, it just shows you the plays that have the highest win probability according to the sportsbook odds, right? There's no BS on OddsJam. It's all based in real-time data. You have DraftKings, BetRivers, BetOnline, Bovada, Fliff, Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker out there, PointsBet. They're all saying the same thing. Hey, Pierre-Luc Dubois, his over should be heavily favored. So this is a great play to include on ParlayPlay. So long story short, here's my entry. 6 picks. All of them are from this fantasy screen. Mitchell over 36.5 points plus assists. FanDuel has the over heavily favored, so that's a great play to include. We have McKinnon shots on goal, so let's go back here. Nathan McKinnon over 4.5 shots on goal. So long story short, really just following the data, using the fantasy screen, using the EV tool to come up with these 6 picks. Mitchell over 36.5 PRAs. Beniers under 2 shots on goal. Heiser under 3 shots on goal. Dubois over 2.5 shots on goal. Nylander over 3. McKinnon over 4.5. Again, all of them just found using data, right? I don't bet with my gut. 99% of bettors, they trust their gut. That's why they lose money. So anyways, you can use the OddsJam Positive EV tool for 190 sportsbooks. I'm currently in California, so I don't have most of these available to me, but you can see, actually, there's a lot of value on TonyBet, LoVig, a bunch of different platforms. So I say this all the time, but the more sportsbooks you sign up for, the more opportunity you're going to have. So a sportsbook I recently signed up for, it's a new platform. It's actually an 18-plus sportsbook. You only have to be 18 years or older to sign up, and it's available in almost every location. It's called Fliff. Right? It's just, a sports book. Long story short, that has a lot of value. I've been able to have a lot of success so far on Fliff. And what you're going to see is, hey, in the Jets Golden Knights game, you can get the Golden Knights over 3.5 team total at plus 145 odds on Fliff. So again, as a sharp sports bettor, what's so crazy is all of these sports books are setting lines independently. Right? They're all trying to do it themselves. Every book wants to be unique. So that may not be that interesting, but as a sharp bettor, that means you have numerous data points all telling you where the line should be set, right? And all these books are saying the same thing. Hey, the Golden Knights, they're over 3.5 shots on goal should be around, plus 120 odds, plus 125. Bet Online, an extremely sharp offshore sports book. They have their line at plus 125, right? Bovada plus 120, DraftKings plus 125. So long story short, you look at all this data and you're like, hey, getting plus 145 on Fliff seems like pretty crazy value. Pinnacle, sharpest bookmaker in the world, they only have a 20-cent spread. They're all the way down at plus 130. Right? So long story short, we found value in the market. So all the positive EV tool is doing is whether you're betting on, ParlayPlay, whatever platform, is it's just scanning these tens of thousands of lines on ParlayPlay, the tens of thousands of lines on PrizePicks, right? Millions of odds across the entire sports betting market. Again, there's 190 sports books on OddsJam. OddsJam's updating millions of odds every second to show you value, right? Just to show you value with no BS, just to show you line discrepancies where sportsbooks are screwing up, right? Sportsbooks do a pretty good job at keeping their lines in check, right? They do a pretty good job at managing their lines, but occasionally they screw up and they're offering too much value. And you can see here in the VGK game, Fliff, they're offering too much value, right? The sharpest bookmakers, Bet Online and Pinnacle, they have this plus 125, plus 130-ish. So this play at plus 145 looks incredible, right? So, OddsJam essentially scans the tens of thousands of lines on Fliff and points out, hey, this is one spot where they're clearly screwing up on Fliff, right? Fliff in general does a pretty good job at making their vig, making their spread, keeping their lines in check with the market. But here's a spot they're screwing up. And again, this happens because sportsbook models get out of sync with one another because they all want to set lines independently. They all try to do it themselves. And here we're getting clear value on Fliff. So long story short, I'll show you my Fliff parlay here in a second. And then, those are my 2 parlays to start the day. I'm sure I'll have more later. Again, there's 17 MLB games, 4 NHL playoff games, 3 NBA. Gonna make a lot of money, hopefully today.
So here's my parlay on Fliff. And again, sometimes there's more value on ParlayPlay or PrizePicks or Fliff. So this morning, the value in the market was on ParlayPlay and Fliff. I didn't see profitable bets on PrizePicks. If there were profitable bets on PrizePicks, I would have given out PrizePicks. Right? As a sharp sports bettor, you follow the market. I didn't have a lot of baseball plays either, which is a little interesting considering there's 17 games. But long story short, as a sharp sports bettor, you follow the value. And here's the value. Both of these plays were from the OddsJam positive EV tool. Let's make money.